there! My name's Sam and this is Nutrition Made Easy. This week we're talking about fats. Now, before everyone runs away screaming, let me just say one thing. Fats aren't bad. Fats aren't robbing banks or throwing pollutants in the ocean or climbing in your windows and snatching your people up. They're just nutrients. They're just sitting there doing their little nutrient thing. So why have fats gotten such a bad rap? Well, that's what we're going to look at right now. So to start, we're going to look at a little fancy-dancy chart that I made because I'm fancy like that. Damn straight. And this is what the chart looks like. Alright, so we're going to just start right at the top and look at the difference between unsaturated and saturated fats. So what is the difference? Well, the difference lies in the structure of the two molecules, but we're not going to get into the biology of it. I'm just going to tell you where the two are found. Saturated fats are found mostly from animal sources, such as the fat that drips off chicken or beef, such as butter, cheese, whole milk, and a few vegetable sources, such as coconut and palm kernel oil. Unsaturated fats are found mainly from vegetable sources, such as canola oil and sunflower oil, avocados, and nuts. They're also found in a couple animal sources, such as different types of fish. So next on our list is trans fats. So what's the deal with trans fats? Back in the day, scientists were looking for a good alternative to butter, so they figured, hey, let's throw some hydrogen in oil and we'll make a nice spreadable alternative to butter that's healthier for people to eat. Unfortunately, this made trans fats. Now, what's the problem with trans fat exactly? When we eat it, our bodies don't know what to do with trans fat. So basically it just floats around and starts to cause a ruckus. But what is it exactly that it does? Trans fat tends to raise the levels of unhealthy cholesterol in our blood and decreases the levels of healthy cholesterol. So you might be asking yourself, then are there any recommended levels of intake of trans fat? Well, actually it's just better if you avoid trans fats as much as possible altogether. So where can you find trans fats and which types of foods should you avoid? Trans fat is generally found in foods such as fried foods, pre-packaged baked goods, hard margarines, and shortening. So it's recommended that we generally limit our intake of trans fat and saturated fat due to the increased risk of heart disease and higher levels of unhealthy cholesterol in our blood. So let's continue to move down our list and look at the healthier kinds of fats, unsaturated fats. Particularly, we're looking at monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, also known as MUFAs and PUFAs. But not loofahs! Oh God, I'm funny. These types of fat help lower blood cholesterol. Now you may not have heard of these types of fat, but I'll bet you have heard of two specific kinds of polyunsaturated fats. In particular, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. So let's start by looking at omega-6 fatty acids. So one common type of omega-6 fatty acid is linoleic acid. And these types of fatty acids are found quite commonly in the Western diet, in things such as safflower, corn, and soybean oil. So now we can move on to omega-3 fatty acids. So what's the deal with the omega-3s? Why does everybody want us to eat them? Well, let's start by looking at the different types. So omega-3 fatty acids, you can have alpha-linolenic acid, EPA, and DHA. So alpha-linolenic acid is found commonly in oils such as canola and flaxseed, in walnuts, and in leafy green vegetables such as spinach and Brussels sprouts. So EPA and DHA are found in fatty fish such as trout and sardines, and it is also becoming quite common for products such as egg and milk to be fortified with these omega-3 fatty acids. These fats are beneficial for brain function and development. They've also been implicated in helping reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. And further research is ongoing suggesting that omega-3 fatty acids may help reduce the risk of some types of cancer, inflammatory bowel disease, and many more diseases. So now you might be asking, how much fat should I be having each day, and how do I know if I'm getting enough? At this point, it's a good idea to look at your Canada's Food Guide. Canada's Food Guide gives you recommendations for types of food that you can eat each week that will contain some healthy unsaturated fatty acids. For example, Canada's Food Guide recommends that you eat at least 2 servings of fish each week, and this will help with your intake of omega-3 fatty acids. It also recommends having leafy green vegetables more often and meat alternatives such as nuts and seeds more often. This will help with your intakes of alpha-linolenic acid and unsaturated fatty acids. In terms of adding fat and oil to your food, Canada's Food Guide also has some recommendations for that. It recommends that you have no more than 2 to 3 tablespoons of added fat each day. And they recommend that you choose unsaturated fats such as oils, salad dressings, and mayonnaise more often than saturated fats such as butter or shortening. So just to recap what we learned today, let's look again at our fat chart. So we went over some healthy and unhealthy choices when it comes to fat. Things like saturated and trans fat, you want to try and limit in your diet. And things like unsaturated fatty acids, you want to get more of. The types of unsaturated fatty acids include mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids, also known as MUFAs and PUFAs. And within the category of polyunsaturated fats, we learned about omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. In particular, omega-3 fatty acids, such as ALA, EPA, and DHA, are very important for reducing your risk of heart disease and maintaining proper brain function and development. So as always, if you are looking to make some large changes to your diet and your lifestyle, it's a good idea to talk to a doctor or a dietitian or some sort of health professional before you do make those changes. And as always, stay informed, check out my references. So thanks for watching. My name's Sam, and this has been Nutrition Made Easy. Saturated, raise your blood cholesterol. The MUFAs and PUFAs and omega-3s reduce your risk for heart disease and stroke. But what are they called? The unsaturated fats. Unsaturated fats. Unsaturated fats. Please don't sue me, B-52s, 'cause I've got no money for you, and I'm pretty sure that I would lose. Thank you, I'm here all week.